Sorry, Dave Ramsey, but you are wrong. Here are 4 Dave Ramsey tips of advice that I completely disagree with when it comes to buying a house. The first thing that I disagree with is Dave saying that you have to be debt-free with an emergency fund in order to purchase a home. His definition of an emergency fund is having savings of at least 3 to 6 months to cover expenses. So I did a little digging to find out how much debt does the average American have. So I'm going to run through this list. As of last year, the average US American has about $5,200 in credit card debt. They also have about $17,000 in personal loan debt, $20,000 for an auto loan, and $39,000 for a student loan. All this information comes to you via bankrate.com. You can see with these 4 items just alone right here, that totals about $82,000. So while Dave wants you to pay off this $82,000, in my opinion, you're going to be waiting forever to save up $82,000 just to pay this off and then come up with your emergency rainy day fund. Now, I don't disagree with having a rainy day fund because that's something we should all definitely have. However, if the stipulation is you must be completely debt free and have that rainy day fund just to buy a house, in my opinion, more of you will be waiting on the sidelines because it's going to take you years, maybe even decades, to pay off $80,000 worth of debt. And the second home buying tip that I disagree with from Dave Ramsey is that you have to put 20% down. He ideally thinks that you should actually pay cash for your house, which again, the median home price today here in Las Vegas, you're looking at about $450,000. If you're looking at generally across the United States, it's about $420,000. I just told you the average person saves about $40,000 in their account right now. How the heck are you going to save up $400,000 to go buy a house these days? You're going to be waiting for the rest of your life, and you probably may not even have that money before you end up dying, so you might as well just throw the idea away. So the idea to pay cash, to me, is just totally far-fetched for the average person to even think about doing that, let alone telling the average American to save up enough money for a 20% down payment to then purchase a home. And according to the St. Louis Fed, the average U.S. American made about $37,000 last year. So think about that. You have to pay off all your debt, which I said was about $80,000. Then he wants you to come in with a 20% down payment. And if you're looking to buy a house here in Las Vegas, the median home price, like I said, is about $450,000. So you're going to need $90,000 down. So good luck saving an extra $90,000 just to come in with your down payment. So far-fetched, again, for the average person to save up this kind of money in order to purchase a home. And the third thing that I disagree with regarding Dave's strategy about buying a house is that he only likes a 15-year mortgage. Now, yes, you do pay your house out faster and you're paying less interest on your home, which is amazing, and it is definitely a plus. However, he does not like 30-year fixed mortgages simply for the fact that you're paying twice as long and twice as much interest. Also, he doesn't like VA loans, FHA loans, which to me are some of the best products to help people get their foot in the door. And especially for all you veterans, you know that I'm a big advocate for home ownership. And the fact that you've earned the right to use your entitlement to purchase a home with no money down, who's to say that Dave Ramsey can tell you that that's a bad loan product? Again, if you had to save 20%, you might be waiting forever, and who knows, an entire lifetime could go by versus buying a house. And I've worked with a number of veterans over the last 15 years that have bought and sold property, that have made tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars utilizing their VA eligibility. So the fact that you would wait on the sidelines simply because Dave's telling you need 20% and you have the ability to put no money down, to me, it's just ludicrous. Now, even moving on to FHA financing, same thing. So many of our clients, especially here in Las Vegas and other parts of the country, utilize FHA financing because they do have blemished credit. So even though they don't have the ideal credit score, and again, one of the biggest myths that are out there is you have to have a 740 credit score. I've worked with so many clients in my 15-year career here in Las Vegas that have used FHA financing to get their foot in the door, that have since bought and sold, again, just like my veteran clients that have made money, increased their credit scores, they've gotten married, they've started families, all because they were able to get their first house using FHA financing. The down payment would have held them back forever because if you're saving up $80,000, $100,000, $200,000 just to come in and buy a house, I can probably count on maybe two hands and maybe a foot or so the amount of clients that actually come to us with bank accounts or savings accounts that have hundreds of thousands of dollars in them. Many of you are hardworking, you've got kids, you've got other bills that you're paying, and you're doing the best that you can to save as much money as possible to get your foot in the door to buy a house. But to say that you got to keep saving maybe another decade just so that you're ready to buy, again, you're going to miss the boat. And if you look at the real estate market and where it's gone over the last 10 years, you could have missed probably one of the best opportunities over the last 10 years of equity appreciation in homes. I've seen so many of my clients literally cash out hundreds of thousands of dollars because they utilize one of these programs, whether it was an FHA loan, a VA loan, or even a 30-year fixed mortgage. So we all know that on a 15-year mortgage, your mortgage payment is going to be higher. But just to give you a rough general rule of thumb of what it's going to look like, let's just take a $400,000 sales price. We're going to put 20% down. So our loan amount is $320,000 with a 740 credit score. And assuming this is your primary residence, on a 30-year fixed mortgage today, you're looking at an interest rate about 7.5%. That principal and interest payment is $2,237. Remember, principal and interest only. We're not factoring in taxes and insurance and HOAs or any of the other stuff, just the meat and potatoes of the mortgage. If you were to take a 15-year mortgage with that exact same scenario, you might get a lower rate at 6%. So you've definitely saved from 7.5 down to 6, which is great. However, your mortgage payment has now increased $463 to a monthly principal and interest payment of $2,700 a month on a 15-year loan. So of course, if you have the income to qualify for that, you can certainly look at that option. However, again, if we're going back to the averages here and we're talking about the average American making $37,000 a year, an increase in $400 is going to be a huge amount on a monthly payment, which will only reduce the amount of home that you can actually qualify for. So again, a 30-year fixed mortgage, in my opinion, is not the worst of things to look at, especially if this is your first home or for qualifying reasons. You need a 30-year fixed mortgage in order to be able to purchase. I don't think a 30-year is horrible. There are ways that you can still take a 30-year fixed mortgage, and simply by making bi-weekly payments, adding extra amounts towards your principal balance every month can shorten the term of your loan. In fact, I even did a video with tips on how to pay your house off even faster. So make sure to check out my playlist, and you can definitely watch that video to learn more about how to save you money on your mortgage payment. So that's something I strongly disagree with, taking a 15-year mortgage. And another Dave-ism that I'm disagreeing with is the fact that he says that you should pay your own closing costs. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning here for a second. He wants you to be debt-free. And I told you off of Bankrate.com's website, the average U.S. American carries about $80,000 worth of debt. So we got to pay off the $80,000 first. Then you have to have 3 to 6 months worth of savings. Again, I don't disagree with that. We need to add that to the list of things that you should be saving towards. Dave is also recommending you need a 20% down payment. So again, the average price here in Vegas is about $450,000. So we're going to add another $90,000 to our initial $80,000 that we just paid off all of our debt. So we're at $170,000. And now he wants you to pay your own closing costs, which in today's market could probably run you anywhere from 2 to 3%. Let's just look at our average sales price here in Las Vegas. We're going to be at $450,000. So we calculate another 3% on top of that, gives us another $13,000. You're literally looking at about $180,000 that Mr. Dave wants you to go ahead and save, pay off your debt, and have this money sitting in your bank account so that you can purchase a home. I don't know about you, but to think that I need to save $180,000+ simply so I can go purchase a home seems a little far-fetched. The average person, according to the St. Louis Fed, makes about $37,000. Now, some of you watching this video might make a lot more. Some of you might make less. And to think, if you believe that this is the best way to go about buying a house, how long would that then take you to save up those funds to buy a house? What is the opportunity cost that it's going to cost you by waiting on the sidelines because you're so busy following Dave and just trying to get these 4 items checked off your box so that way you can buy a house? Now, he does make some good points, and I don't disagree with everything that he's saying. However, these 4 tips that he gives you on buying a house, to me, will keep you waiting forever. And in fact, you may not never buy a house. This is why you need to get with a lender and make sure that you are looking at how do you qualify and what the budget is going to be for you to be able to purchase. Now, I definitely don't disagree with having a budget, having a savings, and knowing exactly where your threshold is as far as what you're comfortable with. Your lender should be asking you some of these questions to dive deeper as well, to make sure that your goals and your buying ability align with each other. And you need to make sure that your loan officer aligns with you as well, because if there's a disconnect anywhere along the line, I could almost reassure that your loan officer will max qualify you for the highest amount possible, which then you'll start shopping for a house that you're going to fall in love with. And then you're going to be house poor, because then you'll probably have to find another job just to make your mortgage payment. And that's the last thing that you want to have happen to you, especially when this is your first home. The market's shifting right now. You have to work with an expert that understands how to best get you into a home. Working with a loan officer or a real estate agent who's part-time, that could be a big mistake, and it can cost you thousands of dollars. Make sure to get a second opinion on your financing. Make sure your loan officer is showing you at least 2 to 4 options when they get you pre-approved. And if you're shopping or refinancing and you need a second opinion, that's why I make these videos. You can always send me an email, and I'd be happy to offer you a no-cost mortgage analysis to make sure that you are getting your mortgage right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.